my channel, Bursts of Sunshine. I'm Ashley. Today we are going to be doing some Hocus Pocus inspired craft projects and DIYs in celebration of the new Hocus Pocus movie coming out. I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to show you guys these awesome crafts. I hope you guys like this video, and if you like crafts and DIYs, don't forget to subscribe so you can see every time I post a new video. I have another Halloween video coming up next week, so hit that button. Oh look, another glorious morning for some Hocus Pocus DIYs. So let's do it. First, we're going to make these super cute stacked pumpkins with the Sanderson sisters, you know, their signature hairstyles on them. I made these out of these cheap black foam pumpkins that I got at the Dollar Tree. So I got 3 of these pumpkins, as you can see, and I'm going to stack them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to cut a hole in the bottom of 2 of these pumpkins so that way the stems can fit up in them. I thought about just cutting the stems off and gluing it that way, but I thought it would be more secure if the stem could go up into the next pumpkin. So I'm going to use the stem as judge and eyeball it and kind of just cut out a little square, and I just keep going back and checking it and retrimming some more until I get it to the size I need where my pumpkins can fit up against each other flush. This is how they're going to look stacked. So now I'm going to work on the next pumpkin. The bottom pumpkin obviously does not need a hole cut in it since there will not be a pumpkin underneath it. So just the top 2 pumpkins need the holes. And these pumpkins have side seams. I don't know if you can see them in the video. So I did try to make sure to line up the side seams as I was cutting these holes. I have this sketch of the girl's hair that I just kind of doodled up real quick. It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be, but if you want it to be perfect, you could totally use a Cricut, or you could print an image off of the internet of like the hairstyles. I don't know. I just drew it. I'm not really sure why. So now, here is how I'm going to place the image. As you can see, that's what it's going to look like. So I'm just going to use a piece of Scotch tape to attach this little outline stencil thing that I've made to my pumpkin. I'm going to repeat this for all 3 of my pumpkins so I can make sure that the hairs all line up and are kind of evenly spaced on the pumpkins and that it looks okay, because you don't want to get these done and then put your pumpkins together and it look ridiculous. Because these are just cheap foam pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, they indent very easily. So I'm just taking an ink pen and I'm just tracing out my little image. Now, I could have freehanded this on here, but I really didn't know how my sketching was going to work out. And so I didn't want to carve into my pumpkin with my pen and indent it if it didn't turn out okay. At least on paper, I can erase it if it turns out bad and try again. So I traced these out with my pen and it left an indent in the pumpkin. It's hard to see in the video, but there's an indent of the hair outlines. And then I just went in with some paint and I painted those. I used a purple for Mary's hair because the pumpkins are black and you wouldn't be able to see her hair on it if I didn't pick a color to stand out. I'm using a orange for Winifred, and I did have to paint multiple coats of these hairs. I would say I painted 2 to 3 coats. Winifred, maybe even more, because that orange was not covering. I used a yellow for Sarah's, and again, just if you need to do extra coats to get it looking pretty and looking opaque, do that. I did. I didn't record it though for sake of not making you watch me do every single step. So now that I have them painted, I'm going to stack them. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue these together. I'm going to use a hot glue gun. You can use E6000 or whatever kind of glue you want. Hot glue just is convenient for me. I put a little glue inside the hole that will touch the stem, and then I also put it around the bottom of the pumpkin so I could attach them that way. Since these are cheap pumpkins, they're very light. They fall over easy. So I went to a local thrift shop and found this little small saucer plate for just 10 cents. So I'm going to use this as like a base. It's going to weight it down because it is like that glass ceramic. So yeah, I'm going to take it and I'm going to spray paint it black so it matches, because otherwise it was going to stick out like a sore thumb. And now I'm going to attach this to the bottom of my pumpkin stack. I'm going to use E6000 because I feel like it's sturdier, but I'm also going to use hot glue just for the temporary hold because the E6000 is going to take a while to dry. So I'm going to put that around the rim of my plate, and then I'm going to go in with hot glue because that will dry quicker and it will hold the pumpkins in place until the E6000 dries. These pumpkins are just so lightweight that I'm afraid they will just fall right off this plate before it gets to dry. The plate definitely weights it down, and it turned out perfect. It looked beautiful, and I am obsessed with this. So now we're going to make a black flame inspired candle, inspired by the candle that they light in the movie. This has an LED light in it, so it kind of looks like a flickering flame, and it turned out so cute, and it is so cheap and easy to make. I'm going to start with a Dollar Tree candle and a hot glue gun. These pillar candles are $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. They sell them all the time. And I took the label off, and now I'm just going in with my hot glue gun, and I'm just making drips like melted wax. I'm kind of just doing my base outline first, and then I'm going to go in and fill in all of the little space in between the top rim and the drips. So it'll look like just wax melting and pouring off the edge. It definitely gives it a very cool vibe. You almost can't tell in the end that this is a glass candle. This is for decorative purposes only. I am not going to be lighting these. So for the paint, I'm going to take some white paint and I'm going to mix in just the slightest little bit of yellow because I don't have like an antique white color, and that's the color I would really like for my melted wax to be. So I'm just going to mix until I get a color I like, and then I'm going to paint all of my drips of hot glue, aka my melted wax, until it is completely coated. This also took a few coats, so just let it dry and then paint over it again a couple coats until you get it looking how you want it. Now that that's done, I'm going to add my label. You can find black flame candle labels like this on Etsy, and they are actually all over the internet. There are tons of different black flame candle labels you can find online. Just find one that you like. They're all a little different. I printed this just on regular sticker paper, so that way I could conveniently just stick it right on my candle. So now, because this is for decorative purposes and it needs a black flame, I'm going to use this little LED candle that I got. I'm going to just push the wick down in the original candle because we don't need that. You could probably even cut it off, would be easier, but I just pushed it down. I'm going to take some black paint and I'm just going to paint the flame on my little LED candle. I did try to make it kind of streaky because I wanted to be able to see the flickering of the candle when you turn it on. So I didn't paint it super opaque. I did it very streaky so that way you can see the orange kind of shining through, so it looks like a flickering black flame. So now I'm going to take the same paint that I used for the wax. I'm just going to paint the top of this candle, so when you're looking at it from ahead, it kind of matches and blends in with the wax. As you can see, it's a little too short. There's not enough space. So I had this little extra random pool noodle. I'm just needing to lift my candle up so that the top of the candle and the flame is kind of level with my pillar candle. So I'm going to cut this foam piece so that way it sits right in there, and then I can set my little LED candle right on top, and then it is level with the top of my pillar candle. And that's a very cool black flame candle inspired by Hocus Pocus. Now this is a tray, like a serving tray, and you could totally use it as a tray. I set mine up like a sign, so I'm going to call this a display tray or sign because you totally do it for both. So I'm going to start with this little tray that I got at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. So I'm going to measure it so I know how big to make my graphic. I had a friend actually send me this image, but you can find images just like this on the internet and on Etsy. This would be super easy to make your own with your own fonts on the Cricut app or even on Canva. But I just used white adhesive vinyl and I just printed out all of these words. As you can see, I'm using my transfer tape and I'm transferring them on. If you do not have a Cricut, you could totally just paint these on. Actually, it would probably look really creepy if you just kind of painted it on real messy like. That would be really cool. I used orange for some of the words to kind of make it stand out. The Ichida Capita Melica Mystica, that part. I wanted it to stand out, and also in the original image that I had seen, it was orange, and I just really liked the look of it, so I kind of tried to stick with that vibe. So here I am just placing it on in the little empty space for that part. I call this the curse tray because that's the curse they put on Thackeray. I just think this is so cute, and every time I walk past it, I sing this song. Twist the bones and bend the back. I just think it's so cute. So here I am placing the other words on there. I realize at this moment that I believe I've got them two backwards because one of them is a little more curved and one of them is a little more straight, but it still works and you can't tell that I totally messed that up. Finally, I'm going to add the word this. In the original graphic, there was an extra S, but I was too far over on my Cricut mat and it got cut off. So there's that. Now that we have that placed on, you can totally stop there, but I'm not going to. I think this needs just a little bit of distressing on the black to bring out the spiders and the details and the accents on the side of this tray. So I'm just going to take a chip brush and some white paint, and I'm just going to dry brush this all over the tray so that way I can get that good, worn out, weathered, distressed look. I just think it definitely makes this look so much better, but you can totally leave it without the distressing if you prefer. Once that is done, it's done. I use command strips to hang mine on the wall, but you could totally just prop this up somewhere or even lay it down like a tray and put candles on it. It turned out super cute and I love it. This is by far the easiest craft here. This is the black pillar candle that says, "Let's light this sucker and meet the old broads." I love that. I got this pillar candle actually at a thrift store because my Dollar Tree did not have them, but I do see a lot of people say that they find these at the Dollar Tree. I could not find them at mine, but if you can, even better. So I did make this graphic, and I am actually going to leave a link to my Pinterest account down below where I uploaded the graphic itself. I did use a different font than the one in the graphic I uploaded because I changed my mind at the end, but I also am going to upload just a picture of the candle, so that way you could totally go into Cricut and just use your own font and type the words in yourself. I did design this candle design, so I will put it on my Pinterest so you can use it for whatever you want to use it for, and I will link that in the description below. I'll cut this out on white adhesive vinyl so that way it would stick out on the black candle. And now I'm just doing the typical Cricut thing where you transfer it onto some transfer tape and then you rub it onto your candle and it's literally done. It's that easy. This is for decorative purposes. I do not intend to light this candle. This turned out super cute and it was seriously so easy. This project may be my favorite by far. I am obsessed with how this came out. I made this out of Dollar Tree signs, guys. I love it. It is huge and it turned out beautiful and I can't wait to show you how I did it. I got these signs from the Dollar Tree. Welcome to our patch. I was mainly just looking for some that did not have a glitter on them because I did not feel like sanding off a bunch of glitter, and I also didn't want anything with any kind of 3D elements. So I just used some scissors and I cut off this little twine pieces that came on it and I threw those aside because we do not need those. I just want the boards. I'm going to do this for all three of these boards. I'm going to cut off the little twine pieces with the little leaves, and I'm also going to remove the strings that hang these because this will no longer be a hanging sign. This is going to be like a prop up, leaner type sign. So yeah, just remove all of those so you just have blank wooden signs. Now that you have those removed, I'm going to take all my signs and I'm going to spray paint them white. It doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as it's mostly coated. We're going to be painting some more, so it's okay if a little bit of the old image shows through. So I did decide to kind of hand sketch this, which I know isn't super duper helpful for you guys, but maybe you can use it for inspiration. I just decided to hand sketch out the hair and the outline of the shirts. I'm not doing any other details because my paint's going to cover it anyways. I did one sign for each of the Sanderson sisters and I just kind of roughly sketched out their hair and shirt outlines. I tried to make all their shirts different so they kind of match the shirts that they actually wear and not just random necklines. So yeah, it's hard to see, but you will see as I paint it how it comes together. So the paints I used for Mary are these three: Sunkissed Peach, Red Apple, and Black. And then for Winifred, we have Harvest Orange, Christmas Green, and again the Peach. And then for Sarah, we have Yellow Flame, Velvet Crush, and Sunset Peach. I did end up going in and adding a couple extra colors to some of these, but I will show you that as the time comes. But the main colors, that's what we got going on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start on their faces because they're the lightest colors. I just thought it would be easiest to go ahead and get those knocked out first. Next, I'm going to go in and I'm going to paint all of their dresses because that is just the biggest surface area. I did Mary's with the red. I would have liked a darker red, but this is what I had on hand, so I made it work. Winifred obviously is the green, and this green was such a pain. I had to do so many coats to get it to cover. I did discover, though, that the bigger my brush, the better it would cover. If you use smaller brushes, it is just such a pain. I did use the small brushes to get the little details around the collar lines, but for the most part, I used big brushes. So now I'm going in and I'm going to now paint the hair. I did Mary's black, Winifred's orange, and of course Sarah's yellow. I did let each coat dry in between, and each coat of everything pretty much needed at least 2 layers. I did 2 coats of the faces, 2 coats of the shirts, 2 coats of the hair. Some of the paint colors did need more coats depending on if it was covering good. You can kind of just eyeball it and make that decision. I did decide to go in on Mary and use some orange paint to kind of make her little neckline. I used some red to make the laces on her little corset top. I went on Winifred and I used the Velvet Crush paint, and I went ahead and added her little V2 just like on her outfit in the purple. Again, this took a couple of coats to cover. After I did the purple, I went in with white and I made little white laces. Now with Sarah's, she doesn't have the V there. She kind of has a big V going down her entire top, like the full corset look. While I already had the white paint out, I decided to go ahead and start adding details. I added some little squiggly lines to her hair, and I added some little highlight lines to her outfit. And then for Winifred, I added some little curls for her hair. I also added some lines to her outfit. I then went in with black paint and started, touching up these details. Also adding some little shadow lines on the outfits. I just pretty much went in with a bunch of black and white paint all over their outfits and their hair, adding squiggles to kind of give it a little bit of dimension. So now I feel like this top section of all of these is a little bit too plain. I'm going to take a chip brush and I'm going to just use some black paint, and I'm just going to add a little bit of distressing up there. I did decide while doing that the outfits also were still a little too plain, so I added a little distressing to those also. So now I'm going to attach these together using E6000 glue. I haven't had much luck with wood glue, so I thought I would just give E6000 a try. I did put the glue in between each of the sisters, and then I clamped them together and I left them to sit overnight to dry because I wanted to make sure that this dried really well. Once that was dried, I flipped it over and I removed the clamps. So now we're going to put some boards on the back to stabilize it. I've got these paint stir sticks. They're the 5-gallon paint stir sticks from Walmart, and I'm just going to cut off the handles so I just have 2 little straight wood pieces. These are perfect size to fit completely across all 3 boards. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to again use some E6000 and some clamps. I'm going to spread the E6000 all down these strips, and then I'm going to press these into my 3 boards going across the opposite direction, as you can see. I'm going to clamp these down, and then I'm going to weight them down with books because these boards can bow up easy where they're like the cheap Dollar Tree boards. And then I'm going to let that sit overnight to dry as well. Once this is dry, it is totally optional, but I decided to spray mine with some Mod Podge acrylic sealer. You can use regular brush on Mod Podge just to kind of protect your image. Those are totally optional. Once you do that, you are done, and this turned out super beautiful. I hope you liked these DIYs. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so you can see the next time I post a DIY video, which will be next week. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.